Hi, I'm Priscilla Kandel. Would you like to know how artists create those wonderful art pieces or authors write for television, film, or novels? Perhaps you'd like some new ideas for how you can do some new arts at home. If so, be sure to watch my next show. Hi, I'm Priscilla Kandel, here to share my love of the arts with you. For years, I've taught piano, sung at theme parks and special events, composed music for children, and produced and performed in live shows, television, and films. On this show, I'll be sharing various artists and types of art. Welcome to The Arts and You. Hi, I'm Priscilla Kandel. On today's show, you're going to see a short film about a funeral needing special last requests. I play the part of the widow Esther. Later, you're going to meet the writer and my co-actors to discuss the film. Then you're going to meet Justin Hyde, a fantastic new novelist who's brought his books to tell you how and why they sizzle. First, the film.
How you doing, Mama?
I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Oh, did you have trouble sleeping last night?
He just wouldn't stop talking.
Well, who wouldn't stop talking?
Your father, he kept me up the whole night.
You were talking to Daddy last night?
I just said that. Weren't you listening?
Who was complaining?
Daddy.
Arnie? But he's dead.
Mama, what was Daddy complaining about? I mean, anything specific? Something we could change to make things better?
I don't know. I mean, the first thing it was the cold.
The cold?
Yes. He thought it was too cold in the house. But then he was always complaining about the temperature. It was one of those things we always argued about. I would get too hot and turn up the air conditioning. Then he'd complain he was freezing and turn it down. And he'd turn it down when I wasn't looking. All he had to do was put on a sweater, and I couldn't parade around the house naked. So last night, when he complained it was too cold in the sitting room, I told him it wasn't the room, it was him, on account of he was dead.
And all you talked about was the temperature?
The roses.
But the what?
The roses. Your father complained about the roses. He wanted white lilies.
What about the roses?
Daddy wanted white lilies.
I'm sorry, Esther.
Now, Mama, don't start. Maddie tried.
Another college-educated try. It's okay, doesn't matter, just a dead man's last request.
Mama, I'm sorry. I know that it... What is it?
Just move over, you and Matthew, move over. Your father would like to sit down. Just move over one seat.
What? Oh,
What's going on?
Daddy wants to sit down.
For what?
Just move over.
Okay.
So, you had to get a front row seat. It wasn't enough you kept me awake all night with your constant complaining. Now you gotta be out here, orchestrating everything?
I got bored up there. Down here, I can see everyone.
Hello, Mrs. Schwartzman.
Yes.
I'm very sorry for your loss. Arnie was such a sweet man.
Thank you.
He will be missed.
Excuse me. I'll be right back.
Who's that woman?
What woman?
That woman your father's sitting next to.
Oh, good. Yes, I do see a young woman back there. I've never seen her before.
That's your father's friend, Lily.
What? No, I know all of his friends. He never knew anyone named Lily.
How do you know her?
Well, I was at the Rosemont Hotel having drinks with some clients, and I ran into Arnie and Lily in the lobby.
You saw my father coming out of a hotel late at night with a young woman, and you didn't think to tell me about it?
No, he was just walking her to her car. Wait a minute. You think Arnie and her were...
Just sit back and hush up.
When are they going to get this show started? Why can't they ever do anything on time?
Why, you got someplace to be?
No, I suppose not. Not anymore.
Maybe you'd like to spend some time with your little friend.
What?
Lilies. Why lilies? You just couldn't get enough of Lily.
It's not that way at all. I suppose I should have told you sooner, but I've only known her 6 months.
6 months?
Mama, calm down. It's a funeral.
I know it's a funeral. Stop reminding me it's a funeral. Let's get this show on the road. The sooner we put Don Juan Schwartzman in the ground, the better.
Esther, I love you. I would never do anything to hurt you. Lily is not my mistress. She's my daughter.
What? Now, I know every daughter that we have, because I was there. And we only have one daughter.
It was right before college. The summer after high school, she was a camp counselor, a couple years older than me. But when camp ended, we never saw each other again. Lily knew nothing about me until after her mother had died, and she was going through her belongings and found some photos from camp.
Well, why did you keep it a secret for 6 months?
I got sick. The time went by so quickly. I'm sorry. I wanted Lily to meet you and Sarah. But now, she has no one. And I was hoping you would help me with that as one more last request.
All right, Arnie. As one last request.
Mama? Mama, where are you going?
I'll be right back. I just need to do one more thing.
Mama, please don't make a scene. We don't know about her. Just think of it. Would someone who looks like her really want to sleep with Daddy?
Don't ever forget, your father was a very kind, sweet man. And although you shouldn't need to know this, he was very generous in bed.
Mama?
Hello, Lily.
Hello, Mrs. Schwartzman.
No, call me Esther. After all, we are family.
Oh. I didn't know you knew about that.
Yes, it was one of the last things he took care of. I don't think he could have rested until he'd done it.
I'm glad. I'm glad it wasn't something he was ashamed of.
No, he wasn't ashamed. But it is a shame that you're not sitting with family.
Oh, I don't want to impose. I'm fine back here.
Nonsense. You should be with family. Don't you want to meet your sister?
Oh, yes. I would love to meet Sarah. You know, Arnie told me so much about her and Matthew.
Yes, well, there's no time like the present. We have an extra seat just for you. Please join us.
Mama, who's this?
This is Lily, your sister.
My what?
Your sister. I'll tell you all about it after the service.
But Mama...
Shh, the service is starting.
The roses are lovely.
Yes, they are. Oh, Matthew,
Yes, Esther.
good job with the roses.
Welcome back. I have here Stephen Olson, the writer of The Last Request. Stephen, a funeral idea. How did you come up with this?
It actually came out of another group that I attend once a month in Culver City. We perform and read great plays. I got involved with them when we moved back to LA just because I was looking for a group that had what they were offering. And generally, it's a writer can come in with a script as long as it doesn't go over 10 minutes. And then we pick actors from the group to perform it. We go and rehearse it for about 45 minutes and come back and do a staged reading of the script.
But why the funeral?
Well, most of the people who attend are female. And there were a couple of people that were kind of older. And so I was thinking of what I could create to use those people as characters. And I'm absolutely not certain where some ideals come from, but sometimes they just kind of appear. And once you start writing the dialogue for the characters, it just keeps moving from there. But I just thought it would be an interesting ideal of the person who has passed away actually shows up at their own funeral. And then I had to figure out, okay, why is he there? And that's came up with the ideal that he's there to introduce his family to a daughter he didn't know he had until recently.
Did you ever know of somebody who had a daughter, an extra daughter, that this situation would have happened to?
No, not really. And again, the ideal, for me anyway, isn't always conceived from the beginning to the end. Sometimes it just happens as I start writing. And so one ideal kind of leads to another. So the ideal of the funeral was because I knew of certain actresses that belonged to this group that I wanted to write for. And then as I started writing what their characters were, then that generates the other ideal about, okay, why is he there? And that's the ideal that I wanted.
Well, I'm a big fan of your writing, and I know you often put in twists and humor.
Yes.
Do you have any kind of formula or pattern that you use when you're writing?
It's interesting that sometimes when I'm hearing the scripts performed and I hear the laughs, it doesn't occur to me that they're that funny because I don't think of myself as a comedy writer. And so again, I think it's just mainly conceiving the characters and getting an understanding of how they're going to react with each other. That dialogue, the dialogue comes from that. And I think I grew up with people with very dry humor, sometimes sarcastic humor.
Yeah.
And it was always there. And I like the idea, even if you're doing a drama, that there should also be some humor in it. It just seems to make it more natural.
Well, that's fantastic. I know you write a lot of plays.
Yes.
Where are they being presented?
I had 2 plays presented recently because this past year I became a writer in residence at the Actors Workout Studio in North Hollywood. And the Actors Workout Studio, they have students who come there to learn acting. They use the Meisner approach there, so a lot of their classes have to do with the Meisner technique. Well, they also have the writer's workshop, And what they try to do is integrate the writer's workshop with the actors. So they give the writers, every 3 months, they give them an assignment. They give them a theme, and then they assign them usually 2 actors. And we're supposed to go meet with those actors, talk about what they want to do, get a kind of ideal of what kind of characters they could be, and then based on the theme, we write a script for those actors. And this year, they took a lot of those writing assignments and they presented what they called their park plays, because all of the plays that we were assigned were given a theme. It had to happen in a park. So both of those plays were presented just over the last couple of months. One was a comedy and one was more of a dramatic piece. But even the dramatic piece had humor in it.
Wow, that's a great exercise. Now, in the last request, you're also an actor, and I happen to know you just recently won Best Actor Award in a film. Can you tell us about that?
I think that was second place supporting actor, and actually that movie came out of the Culver City group again, and that's another nice thing about the Culver City group is that you meet people, and you get involved with projects that they want to be in. And one of the actors, his name is Robert, I'm sorry I can't remember his last name right now, had written a piece and he wanted to do a video of it. He belonged to another group down in Orange County that put together film pieces also.
And what was the title of it?
It was called Caretaker Wanted.
Or Caregiver?
You're right. It's Caregiver Wanted, yes.
Caregiver Wanted.
Caregiver Wanted, yes.
And you played the part of a very crotchety old man
Yes,
who didn't
yes.
want a caregiver.
Well, he wanted a caregiver, but he didn't want someone to treat him like an invalid.
Yeah.
So everybody who came in to interview for the job, he gave them a hard time simply because he was testing them. He wanted to see how much they could take.
You are so talented. You write, you act. Now, I know you got a late start in life to do all of
Yes.
these things. What would you say your future aspirations would be?
Well, one thing would be, it would be nice to get paid for doing writing. That would be a nice thing. And so I keep looking for opportunities to do that and keep creating just so that I can have the body of work to prove that I can do what it is that I want to do.
You can do it. You really can. But now, in the last request, this is actually a shortened version, and there were many scenes that were cut, that were comical, that Stephen wrote. One of them was Herbie the Butcher.
Right.
Tell us about Herbie and his character.
Well, Herbie's character was in the concept of the script. It was going to be just the wife, the husband who has passed away, the daughter and son-in-law. But during writing the script, I felt the son-in-law needed someone else to kind of work on his behalf, to be his champion. Someone else to come in and kind of be in the middle of what was going on in the family. And so that's when I introduced the butcher.
Well, I remember saying at one of my lines is, I invited the butcher to be here to make brisket for the ceremony.
Yes.
And what was your reaction to that?
Brisket? Why would anybody want brisket? I wanted sandwiches.
That's right.
yes.
And what else? You said something about it was your funeral.
It was, I wanted sandwiches. When he dies, he can think of his guest. I wanted my last wishes to be respected.
That's it,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the lines that I really liked that was cut was when the mother sees the young woman appear and says, "Who is that?" And then she realizes it could have been a mistress, and she says, "He is so lucky. Your father, if he wasn't already dead, I'd kill him." Great writing, Stephen.
And it was good acting too. And one of my favorite moments is when you come back around with the new daughter and introduce her to your daughter and says, "Oh, this is Lily, your daughter." And Marcia goes, "My what?" And it was just her perfect reaction to that.
Oh, we
to
had
that
so
line.
much fun making that film. Thank you so much, Stephen, for your
Thank
talent,
you.
for being here.
Thank you.
And we hope to have a full version of The Last Request on YouTube as soon as we can get it together. It would be on the Arts in You web series. For now, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to meet Justin Hyde, who is here to talk about his novels. So don't go away. Writing is an art that can put vivid pictures and wonderful ideas into our brains. Our next guest says ideas just fly into his mind, and he's compelled to write them down. Let's find out how Justin Hyde puts all these ideas into his books. Welcome, Justin.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You know, what I know about you is that you live in California, you're raising a beautiful young family,
Thank you.
you have a full-time job, and you love to ride horses.
Yes, yeah.
Now, with all this, how is it you're writing about angels and devils, and how do you even have time to write?
Well, you know, honestly, it all got started with about 10 years ago. I've always liked to read, and I kind of stumbled onto this point in life where I ran out of books, and I didn't have anything else to read. And for whatever reason, I just decided, well, I'm just going to try and see if I can do it myself. And
Wow.
next thing you know, I had started it, and then it became kind of a personal goal to see if I could finish it. And once I did, I realized I love it. I want to do it again. And
Wow.
timing is a little difficult, though. Like, as you said, I have a family, and so typically when other people are watching TV and stuff, after they put the kids to bed, I'm on the computer writing away.
Well, your first book has an intriguing title. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the first book I wrote, it's called The Italian Law, and it's sort of the biblical law of retaliation, so to speak. What it means is an eye for an eye. So it's kind of a story of revenge, and it's a little bit different than a lot of books that are out there in this genre because it doesn't focus on, you know, some special ops, special forces guy or anything like that. It's just a normal, everyday guy, you know, neighborhood person like you might see in your neighborhood.
Fantastic. Well, the second book is about servicemen. I know your grandfather had a Purple Heart from World War II. Did that inspire anything about that book?
Yeah, it did to some degree. The second book gets a lot more detail, a lot more vivid with worldly things and stuff like that, and it kind of takes this like private military group known as Night Corps International, and they get involved in a mix-up in the Czech Republic where a cemetery outside of the famous Church of Bones there has been desecrated, and so this group is called in to kind of take over the investigation, and from there all kinds of things start happening, and it just becomes this whirlwind of adventure and religious history and all sorts of things that tie in together.
Wow, I'm impressed. I understand you have a special offer to make to servicemen.
Yeah, I do. I did something a little while back. I happened to see this guy on one of my lunch breaks, and it was this old man. He was wearing like a beat-up Navy baseball cap, and I remember watching him and just thinking, I wonder what this guy's story is. I wonder, you know, what wars has he fought in, what ship was he on, things like that. And I kind of got a little sad, thinking, you know, I'm never going to know. I'm not going to know what this guy's story is. And so I write stories. I'm an author, and so I write books and tell stories. But I really am big on supporting servicemen and stuff. So a little while back, I put an offer out there on social media, asking people, hey, if you tell me your story, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear your story. And if you do that, I'll send somebody a free autographed copy of one of these books. And I'd like to do that again. So. Because I like hearing it so much, and I like supporting these people. So anybody who goes to social media, you can find me at Facebook and Instagram at author Justin Hyde. Send me your story. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And I really like to hear it, and I'd like to send you something too.
So you're going to send them a free book?
Not everybody, but
Oh, really?
but yes, I'm going to send out a couple free books, signed copies with a personalized little letter inside saying, thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. So here's my gift to you, just a little way to say thanks.
That's a wonderful idea. Now, you have a brand new book. It just hit the presses, I hear. Which one is that, and tell us about it?
So that one's called The Angel of Meridian. It's this one here, and it's sort of a sequel to The Devil's Bible, but it takes place about 10 years later, and it can absolutely be read as a standalone novel. It in no way needs to be read together. It again takes you to all corners of the world, and it really starts bringing a lot of science and history and religion and things like that, and just tying them all together in and as much action and adventure as I can pack into a book, I think.
You must do a lot of research.
I do a tremendous amount of research. It's probably half of my time in writing these stories goes into research.
Well, which book do you like the best, or should I say, what do your readers say about your writing?
So with the last two, with The Devil's Bible and The Angel of Meridian, I would say I can't pick a favorite on my own, but those two are probably the ones that are getting the most following and support right now. They most commonly are, this is a bold thing to say, but I get comments like, oh, it reminds me of Dan Brown and James Rollins. And for me, it's a huge honor to have people, even just mention those names in the same sentence as me. So I think that's probably the biggest comparison that I get, and I'm very flattered for it.
Wow. Well, which of these books do you think would make the most exciting movie?
Oh, that's probably every author's dream, I guess, is to see their, I love to read, and so books are obviously the biggest thing, but to see something become film would be incredible as well. And I think I would like to see the last one, The Angel of Meridian, turn into a book. But again, both of those, I think,
a movie. Yeah,
maybe
turn
into a
movie.
trilogy someday after I write the next one.
Oh, fantastic. Do you have ideas for future books?
I do, yeah. I have. I could write books until I die. I think I'd never run out of ideas. I see things all the time, and it just, I go, man, I could write a book on that.
What a talent. Oh, man. Now, if people want to buy your books, where would they go find them?
Right now, until I get the website up, the best place for people to go and the easiest place is right there through Amazon. They're available in paperback and for
The address
Kindle.
is?
If you go to amazon.com/author/author Justin Hyde, it will take you to my Amazon page, and everything is there.
Say that address one more
All three
time.
of them are there for you. It's amazon.com/author/author Justin Hyde.
And they have audiobooks as well.
Yes, well, that'll be out in a couple weeks. The Devil's Bible is finishing production this week, as a matter of fact, so that's exciting. The audiobook will be available in iTunes and audible.com, and it should be out in the next couple weeks.
Well, thank you so much, Justin, for being here. This is an exciting future, and I know your future is going to go straight up. We're going to have to keep our eye on you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's film, The Last Request, and meeting its writer and some of the actors. And then it was nice hearing from Justin Hyde, that talented new author. Be sure to see my next show when I'll introduce you to some new creative artists and their unique arts, all on The Arts and You.